I met Maine in 2000. At first, it was just a friendship, but then we did grow into a relationship. We dated for, I say, a year and a half, and then he went off to the Army. When he came back, we did meet back up, and it kind of wasn't going anywhere, so we left it at that. The last time I saw him was August of 2001. Of course, he went back to the Army. 9/11 happened. I eventually started dating someone else middle of September, and I found out I was pregnant with her somewhere in the beginning of October. I did eventually contact Maine and tell him that I was pregnant, but he was off in the Army. The guy that I was dating at the time, I let him know that I was pregnant too. So both knew that there were a possibility that one or the other could be the father. 2002 rolls around. I have Tamaria. Maine was unfortunately unable to be there, but the other guy was still there, and they bonded, and he became her father. Their relationship has always been beautiful from the moment she was born. She has always been a daddy's girl, so he was also active in her life. Track meets, father-daughter dances, movies. I mean, everything that you can picture that a father should do, the other guy was that. And by him being such upstanding, me and Maine decided it wasn't time to tell her. I always kept Maine in a loop, sending him pictures, report cards, because eventually I knew the day was gonna come where we had to find out the truth about her paternity. Tamaria didn't know that there was another possible father, so when she found out at the age of 13, it was kind of hard. She found out through text messages, going through my phone. Me and Tamaria had a talk about it, and we eventually reached out to Maine and set up a meet date. If Jermaine is not the father, I'm thinking she's going to be a little hurt because she has built a bond with him over the last 5-6 years that they have met. She has built a bond, and it is beautiful. He came to her prom. He comes and pick her up for her birthday. They spent a little time out visiting his family. So they do have a strong, beautiful bond now. And if he's not her father, she's going to be hurt.
Tamaria, before you found out that there could be another possible father out there, what was your childhood like?
I had a really good childhood. I wouldn't say it was perfect, but I had what, every child needed. I had a mother's love and I had a father's love. I'm so sorry. And, my mom, she worked a lot. She was always at work. And my dad, he worked too, but he had less hours, so he had more time for us. I had a lot of school activities that I remember him coming to when I was younger, and especially like track meets or any school plays, he was always there. And after, I found out, it just became like really hard for us to have contact.
And tell me about the day you found out that there was another man that was possibly your father.
I was 13. I remember this day clear as day. I had made a Facebook page. And my mom, she was kind of strict on us because she knew about everything, like kids having Facebook page just wasn't in her agenda. So she kind of took my phone away. I was grounded for a little while, but during this time we lived in Iowa, so I couldn't go see my other siblings. I had to text them or something. So I asked to use her phone so I could text my other siblings, and I ended up going through her phone and finding out the text messages. At first, I didn't know what they were talking about. I just generally was looking, and my mom was like, I think it's time for her to know. And they were talking back and forth like they knew what was talking about, but I didn't. So I scrolled further down in the messages, and I found out that my mom had said, I think it's time for her to know who her father is.
In your heart, you believe that he is your father?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you see a resemblance between the two of you?
Yeah, when we first met each other, growing up, everybody always told me, you look so much like your mom, like you are your mom's splitting image. And, I believed them because I do look like my mom generally, but when I met Jermaine, I was like, no, I have his whole face. Like, you would never believe I have the shape of his face, the shape of his eyes, the shape of his nose even.
While I was in the Army, I always knew about Tamaria. Deidre always kept me in the loop. She always sent me pictures, report cards, letters about Tamaria all the time. When Tamaria was 13, she reached out to me on Facebook and asked me, did I know her? I was like, I know of you, yes, I do. And I told her I was her father. The first time I met Tamaria was her 14th birthday. I went and visited her. I mean, she looked exactly like me. I'm talking about splitting image. When I first met her, I felt a connection. Like, I felt like she was mine. Since Tamaria turned 14, I've been in her life nonstop. From birthdays, to parties, to hanging out, taking her to movies, shopping. We've been the best of friends. If the text comes back that Tamaria's not my daughter, I will be hurt a little, but our relationship won't change. I'll still treat her as my own. I see myself in Tamaria in so many ways, from my attitudes to the way she talks, the way she interacts with other people. Yeah, that's me all day. I'm so excited to see her. I can't wait to see her. I haven't seen her since her birthday. I miss her so much.
I guess it would be devastating if you're not biologically her father, right?
Yes, very.
Yeah.
I'll be hurt.
But,
I
but
can't
nothing
lie.
changes for you.
No, nothing will change.
And that's what she said, too. She says when she looks at you, she sees a lot in common there. Like, she says, hey, that's my dad. We look a lot alike. And to be honest, now that I'm looking, you do look a lot alike.
Yeah, if you take her dimples away.
Yeah. In your mind, how sure are you that Jermaine is her biological father?
100%.
100%. All right, well, then just go off the stage. We don't need to find out anything. Well, you ready to find out?
Yes.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
All right, Jermaine. You came here and you took a DNA test. You've been dad, and you need that last little piece.
That's it.
Yeah.
And you came here today, took a DNA test, and the result of that DNA test, Jermaine, is that you are Tamaria's father.
It's Christmas.
Thank you so much.
Well, I'll tell you, I think everybody's relieved, like, we got that result, because that would have been really bad if it went the other way.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't.
Now, Jermaine, my producers tell me that there's something you would like to ask Deidre.
It is? I didn't ask them.
You have a ring or anything?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
We don't do that.
Oh, wow.
What a wonderful story. Why don't you tell me about Jermaine?
So one of my favorite things about him, when I turned 17, I really started struggling with school, and I didn't want to continue going to a public school or to a traditional high school. I wanted to drop out and go to Job Corps. And my mom, she like harped on me. She was like, no, you're gonna be a first generation college student. You're going to go and do it the traditional way. And at that point, we're just fighting about it, and I'm like, I'm not getting through to you. You're not seeing it my way. So when I talked to Jermaine about it, he basically, he laid it out for me. He was like, this is your decision, and only you can make this decision because you have to live with it. But he just showed me that he was really supportive either way, and that was one of the moments that he impacted my life the biggest, because he showed me, like, even though I couldn't always, be there with one parent, I'd always have another parent to coincide with.
Oh, that's good. Well, we're certainly so happy for you. And we know you're going to achieve great things. And when you have parents like that, or really love you, and you really have everything that you need in life. And we wish you all the best of luck. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
I was raped.
My name is Steve Wilkos, and I'm an investigative talk show host with a law enforcement background.
It was my life or his.
My job is to get truth and justice for everyday people. Watch our videos now.